I was just sitting there looking at spiritual sort of a few little groups like on Facebook, and I think it's interesting. I was just having some insight. I was just going off and just connecting into my own consciousness, and I was just looking at and thinking about. I was looking at a site about Shambhala, and then some other people were talking about Mount Shahasta. I think that's how they say it. I have trouble saying some of these sometimes. They talk about this kind of fifth dimensional reality, and they talk about these fifth dimensional planes, and where these spiritual sort of cities or spiritual sort of temples exist, and this is where the ascended masters exist as well, or they're there in these fifth dimensional planes, which is part of the energetic planes, which they haven't manifested on the planet yet, because the planet is still not at the frequency to allow us to start to see it. Some of us that are sort of vibrating on a different frequency can see them, sense them, or feel them, but can't necessarily see them physically like we used to be able to within different civilizations, especially when you're talking about like Atlantis and Lemuria, where there were higher frequencies and they were connected to the spiritual realms, the different dimensional realities. So we could actually then open up and we could see these. And this is what we're moving towards now, is trying to bring those frequencies back. So these sort of like Shambhala and sort of Mount Shahasta are there, and they're talking about these kind of ascended masters and these ascension tools. It's interesting because when I was starting to go into it, I was like looking at sort of like my process and a lot of people's processes, and trying to think about what's the purpose of what we're doing here, and in the sense of like shifting energy and creating energy and manifesting it. And what I really felt quite deeply was it's just about sort of like preparing the planet, and preparing each other, and preparing the frequencies, and helping to integrate these energies, which is what I keep talking about, is part of our process. And when we start to do that, what we do is we expand and we open, and the more that we do that, the more that we're allowing these frequencies to go higher, and the more they go higher with the ascended master, the angels and the other guides that are coming down, or not coming down, but are sort of like, because they're not down or up or anything like that, because they're here, they're connected. It's just that because we're not on that frequency, we can't see them, but we know they're there, because they're part of the energetic world. So their frequency is connected to ours. So all frequencies are part of the same one vibration. Nothing is separate. Everything is interconnected. So in that sense, it's not, it's already here, but it's about us as these spiritual beings preparing for this shifting. And this is what a lot of the ascended masters do. This is a lot what these guides do. They come down, they channel with channels and beings that are used to this channel to start to talk about spiritual insight, knowledge and wisdom, how we can use it, and how we can shift our energy to start to lift the planet and start to lift it back to the vibration. Because at the moment this planet is separate. It's not separate, but it is separate, if you know what I mean. It's separate. It's not. Separation happens when something's not in harmony. This is what I keep saying. Spirituality, angelic, all spiritual essence and energy knows oneness, it knows harmony, it knows balance, it doesn't know disconnection. And this is the thing, is a lot of us are living in disconnection because we don't know harmony, we don't know balance, we don't know that connection, and our true nature is in balance, in harmony. Our true nature knows what it is to be in connection and in harmony with that source, and this is part of what it is. And if we remain sort of like on this third dimension, then we remain disconnected from the source, like from our spiritual sort of our spiritual essence, our spiritual nature. It's still here. The energetic and the frequencies are still here. They're even here around the third dimension. They're still connected, but they're not visible. And this is what part of the process is. And this is what we're doing here, is to raise our energy. I mean, as I start to connect in this, I see a beautiful pink light that I'm connecting into. I'm talking, I see pink and white are the two colours. So I know that pink is about universal harmony, it's about balance, it's about nurturing, it's about openness, it's about harmony. And then I know white is about these higher frequencies. It purifies, it cleanses, it opens, it expands, it expands the frequency, it expands the energies. So I know, and there's two sides. And now blue's starting to come in. This light blue starting to come in as well. So I know it's connected to these sort of like blue is again about healing. It's about knowledge. It's about wisdom. It's about intelligence. It's about divine flow. It's about divine communication. All these things are starting to connect in. So as I start to connect into these energies, then I start to see a shift and a change. And this is what this time's about. And as I was connecting into it, it's telling me it's about preparing the way. It's very difficult, I think, because we still live in a very materialistic world, and the spiritual reality doesn't exist in that. It's not worried about. It's not worried about materialism. That's not the exchange it uses. It uses energy. It uses light. It uses light frequencies. It knows the universe is abundant. It knows that it's secure. It knows it's got it's supported. It doesn't need that kind of materialistic, which is very difficult because we're all sort of living in this kind of, this is an exchange system which is all about money. And the new sort of like the new frequency won't be very much around money. It'll be more about sort of like harmony. It'll be about balance. It'll be about creation. It's about using the universal energy, the universal source, creation around that. Abundance is created. This is what alchemy is as well, like spiritual alchemy is around this, creation is about the golden colour of like spiritual alchemy. And that's created through insight, it's created through intention, through energy, and the universe, the law of the universe sort of like provides and brings. So it's very difficult because we're living in a very different kind of frequency where it's very much around materialistic and it's very much around a physical frequency, yet what we're talking about is not physical. It's energetic, and the energetic world works on a very different kind of frequency. It works on a very different kind of exchange, and this is what we're here for. I mean, I've felt for quite a long time that how we live and who we are is not who we truly are, and this is very difficult because when you walk through this world and you're living and working through a physical world and going out and earning money to pay your bills and to feed yourself and to keep the car on the road and all these things that are not sort of like in line with your true nature. They're not in line with the spiritual nature of the self. They're in line with the physical and materialistic world, the third dimensional reality, which isn't the reality that we're supposed to live. And this is why some people are opting out as well, because they feel like there's a more harmonious way of living, and there is for a lot of us. But also we're here as spiritual beings to lift that vibration, lift that frequency, and we're here to try and pave and prepare the way, prepare the way for these energy frequencies and help to integrate. Each of us has a purpose to integrate those light frequencies, those energy frequencies that are coming down to start to shift the planet's energy and start to shift it into a different sort of vibration, a different frequency, so we can start to live in a different way again, and we can start to be connected to that energetic world and that fifth dimensional reality, which is what we're all trying to move towards. And this is what the shifting of the planet is, and this is what this Lionsgate and all these other kind of frequencies that are coming down are trying to shift our energy and awaken us and activate us. And this is what's going on at the moment, and this is part of what we're here for. So what I'm trying to say is each and every one of you has a part to play, and one of you is part of this process and part of this unfoldment. Never feel isolated, never feel alone, because you're part of it. And this is what all of our purposes are here. Just keep expressing your energy, sending it out there, sending your light out there. Just keep sending your intentions out there, keep creating, keep harmonizing, keep sending healing out there, keep visualizing the energy fields, the energy frequencies within the planet, opening up, connect, and when you have like energy shifts and frequencies, connect to them, open up to them, allow them to integrate within your own energy system, and then we'll start to flow and shift. That's part of all of our work, and this is what we're all here for.